All right, welcome to the deep dive. So you're hunting for a solid budget gaming laptop in India, yeah. Something under that 80,000 rupee mark for 2025.
Yep. The goal is something that actually runs games well without, breaking the bank or needing constant tech support calls.
Exactly. We've got a pile of reports and reviews here, and the mission today is basically to cut through the noise. Find the machines offering the best bang for your buck in gaming terms.
Right. You want to get up to speed fast, and we've crunched the reviews to figure out what really counts. We're essentially asking which laptop gives you that great gaming feel and good value without drowning you in tech specs.
Okay, so who are the main players here? The names that keep popping up are the Acer Nitro V, the ANV 1551 model
Yeah.
specifically.
Hmm.
Then there's the Lenovo LQ 15iAX9, a few different HP Victus 15s, same with the Asus TUF Gaming A15s.
Right. Lots of configurations there.
Also the Dell G15 5530, the Gigabyte G5 MF5, and one I wasn't as familiar with, the colorful Evil P15.
Yeah, that one's less common. But it's clear Acer, Lenovo, HP, and Asus are like the big contenders fighting it out here.
Definitely seems that way.
And what's kind of interesting is a lot of them share similar core specs.
Like what sort of things?
Well, you often see 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM.
Uh-huh.
Think of that as like good working memory for smooth gaming and multitasking.
Okay, 16 GB DDR5.
Got it. And usually a 512 GB SSD. That's your fast storage for games and boot times.
Standard now, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Plus, most have that 15.6-inch Full HD screen, often running at 144 Hz refresh rate.
Which is good for smoother motion in games, right?
Exactly. Smoother visuals, less blur. And then the graphics cards, typically you're seeing NVIDIA's RTX 3050 or the newer RTX 4050 in this price bracket.
Right. Okay, let's maybe zoom in on some individuals then, starting with that Acer Nitro V.
Sure. The Nitro V ANV 1551. Reviews generally say it's a capable machine for 1080p gaming, especially that RTX 4050. Some versions apparently have okay battery life too, and it doesn't scream gamer aesthetically, which some might like.
Okay, but what's the catch?
Well, the fans can apparently get pretty loud when it's working hard, and you might find yourself wanting more storage or maybe even RAM later on. It's upgradable, but, cost.
Something to keep in mind. What about that colorful Evil P15? You said it was less known.
Yeah, it does list an RTX 4050, which is good on paper, but honestly, it's a bit of a wild card. There just aren't many detailed reviews out there.
Ah, so it's harder to say how it performs day to day or like how reliable it is?
Exactly. More of an unknown quantity.
Okay. Moving on, the Lenovo LQ 15iAX9, hearing good things about this one.
Yeah, it gets praised quite a bit for having a really sturdy build and pretty effective cooling. Seems to strike a nice balance performance-wise, whether you get the 3050 or 4050 version.
Nice. Any downsides?
Just average battery life seems to be the consensus. And the webcam and keyboard are apparently pretty basic, functional but not fancy.
Fair enough. And the HP Victus 15.
Solid gaming performance there too. And like the Asus, it comes in various flavors. The main potential drawbacks mentioned are, again, maybe short battery life on some models.
Seems common.
It does. And depending on the specific configuration and what you play, some versions might feel a little constrained by the RAM amount out of the box. Might need an upgrade.
Gotcha. How about the Asus TUF Gaming A15? TFF suggests durability.
And it generally lives up to that. Known for a robust build, good gaming chops.
What's interesting with the TF A15 is if you get an AMD processor version,
Yeah.
the battery life can apparently be surprisingly good. Much better than many competitors.
Oh, really? That's a big plus. Any negatives?
Potential for inconsistent cooling under heavy loads sometimes. And a few reports mention possible screen ghosting where fast-moving images leave faint trails.
Okay. Screen ghosting could be annoying for some games.
Definitely. Now, the Dell G15 5530.
Right.
This one stands out for really strong gaming performance and, again, excellent build quality. Dell's usually pretty solid there. But there's always a but, isn't it?
Always. In this case, it's battery life. Reports say it's just plain poor, and it's a heavier, bulkier machine.
So really, for someone who plans to keep it plugged in almost all the time?
Pretty much, yeah. Think desktop replacement more than portable powerhouse.
Makes sense. Okay, last one on the main list, Gigabyte G5 MF5.
Right. The big draw here is getting an RTX 4050 relatively cheap. Plus, it has two M2 slots for SSDs.
Oh, dual SSD slots. That's actually really useful for future storage upgrades.
It is. Big plus. However, there are some significant flags in reviews about thermal throttling.
Meaning it gets too hot and slows itself down.
Exactly. Performance can drop off during long gaming sessions to prevent overheating, and the overall build quality might not feel as premium as, say, the Lenovo or Dell.
Okay, so trade-offs there too. Heat and build for the price and GPU.
Precisely. So you see, the decision really boils down to what you value most. Is it just raw frame rates? Or is battery life critical? How important is that tank-like build feel? Or are you laser-focused on the absolute lowest price for a certain spec?
It's a balancing act, for sure. Okay, let's try to summarize then. For someone wanting, like, a good all-rounder.
The Lenovo LOQ15i AX9 and the Acer Nitro V ANV1551 seem like strong contenders for that balanced profile.
Right, and if build quality is top priority.
Then I'd look again at the Lenovo LOQ and also the Dell G15 5530, assuming you're okay with the bulk and poor battery.
Okay. What about best potential battery life? You mentioned one specifically.
Yeah, the Asus TUF Gaming A15, especially if you find a configuration with an AMD Ryzen processor, those tend to be more power efficient.
Good tip. And for the absolute tightest budgets, maybe sacrificing a bit elsewhere.
The Gigabyte G5 MF5 could be an option for that RTX 4050 access, keeping the thermal concerns in mind. Or, good question, all the big names, Lenovo, HP, Asus, Acer, Dell, Gigabyte, they all have service networks across India. Some reviews suggest Asus might offer slightly more convenient options, like on-site service or pickup and return in certain areas, but generally, they all have a presence.
Okay, good to know support is generally available and finding the best price.
Oh, yeah. Definitely monitor the big online stores, Amazon, Flipkart, etc. Use price comparison sites, too. And there are even some websites specifically dedicated to tracking gaming laptop deals. Prices fluctuate, so keep an eye out.
Constant vigilance.
Pretty much. And here's maybe a final thought to chew on.
Yeah.
Since so many of these laptops have, similar core specs like the RAM and SSD and often the GPU, what's an unexpected factor that might actually be the deal breaker or the hidden gem for your personal experience?
Like what?
Well, maybe it's how quiet the fans actually are during normal use, not just gaming. Or maybe the feel of the keyboard over a long typing session. Or perhaps the screen brightness if you often use it near a window. It's those little things beyond the benchmark numbers that can really shape how much you enjoy using the laptop day to day.
That's a really good point. Don't just chase the specs. Think about the actual daily use case. Definitely something to mull over. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.
I've included links with more details in the description below, so be sure to check those out. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Deep Dive, like the video, and ring the bell for more helpful content. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day ahead.